fast pace, and you go for that like OG style where you get like the solar crest, you get the fighting items. Or is that not a thing anymore? Is it just the armlet radiance?
I think it's okay here. I think you can go either build just because LGD are kind of hamstringed into one style. Like this one position axe is nice, but at the same time it does have a starting and end point. But I do like that LGD are trying something different and they're picking a run at you strategy. That's how you have to play Dota nowadays. You just have to run at people and hope that they break.
One position axe, maybe Faceless Void. That's a mid Void, and then Xiao 8 Mirana. They have completely mixed things up. All right, get our predictions in. Blink Daggers. Who's playing Blink Daggers here? Bat and Void.
Bat, Void, Axe.
Yeah, Axe.
That's 3.
I'm
going 3 to 4.
Will Void get it by 25 though?
Yes. Oh, who's playing it? Shout or maybe?
Maybe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it's a mid Void, doesn't even go to the Blink.
Ooh, correct.
That's
I think Vlad's Blink is still pretty standard.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes Diffusal if he's feeling really carry-like. But I think Blink is pretty...
He is the damage. Like, Miranda, Xiao 8's not going to get that much farm. I'm going to go back to 0-2, but that's just me.
You're messing with my head. All right, 3 to... I'm sticking 3 to 4.
Don't let me... I will feel bad if you change yours and we're wrong. Okay. We can hedge our bets. You know, one of us is going to be right, so one of us gets to feel good, and the other can be like, that's all right. We can win as a team.
The prize is mine.
All right, so EG going to give up the bounty rune to... That's weird. Xiaoi just got the bounty rune.
Was LGD posturing to try fight bottom and then realized they couldn't?
I think maybe it was bottom for sure. Yeah. Then I think he thought to himself, like, this is pointless. And it's going to be a semi-roaming / jungling Xiao 8 playing the Mirana.
And, they're swapping lanes, are they? Aggressive's heading top.
But Xiao 8 is heading jungle.
Yeah, so let's farm our supports, you know, give AA the safe lane solo.
Yeah,
and you see this bat undying, and you're like, whoa, what do we do against this lane?
I mean, we talked about it, right? That EG were going to... This should have been clear as day if us lowly casters are predicting the Undying Bat Rider.
Hey, speak for yourself, William, please. Come on now. I mean, EG didn't do anything crazy with their lanes.
Yeah, this is pretty standard. When you pick Bat with it Undying, it's such a strong dual lane because Sticky Napalm synergizes really well with the Undying Tombstone because you can't turn around and hit it. Or you have to all-in commit to fighting it that you can't turn around to run. It's going to be hard one way or another, and I think this is the appropriate lane swap as Axe can do fine against Jug Dazzle.
It's always been one of those... Axe versus Dazzle is kind of funny because in a lot of ways the Dazzle no longer is decent against the Axe now that the spin is pure, but trying to tank creep waves as Axe with Shadow Wave can be a scary thought.
It is very hard.
You have to very much change your laning stage against Dazzle, but come mid-game, Axe great against the Dazzle with the ulti.
Yeah, Aggressive's just popping Battle Hunger and running at him.
It's one of those things where LGD are clearly adapting and changing their playstyle, but this is a big change in playstyle. If anything, it's like kind of like concerning that the team isn't sure what they're doing or what direction they want to go with their drafts if they're putting aggressive on Axe and sending him to the offlane. The fact they had to lane swap against what was like the obvious EG lanes, like you should have had your lanes set in stone, like for EG.
Yeah, I felt like this was pretty standard. It's not even like it's a surprise. If LGD are caught off by this, then I shudder to think that what'll happen when they play further on into the tournament is Sumail finds another bounty rune as Alchemist. Does only have that level 1 Grieval's Greed though, so not gonna reward him as hard.
So see how Void's doing mid lane. He's got 13 CS, doing just fine against Alchemist. One-man shield and all
we
that.
talked about the 78 base.
And the armor means you're just fine against the acid spray as well.
Yeah, I mean Void has ridiculous stats.
Universe is getting some jungle stacks here now as well. Banana getting XP at least, but this is additional farm going the way of the Bat Rider. Well, top lane aggressive. There's a decent amount of creeps and farm coming his way under the tower. So pretty much both offlaners getting no help for the Axe, but he is getting a decent amount out of the lane. So no one's really being zoned out. No Iron Talon shenanigans this game, for example. Yeah,
nobody's had to. And CSing wise, EG are doing very well for themselves as PPD has pulled the side camp for himself. Going to pick up some free levels during this as Aggressive is going to make his way over, and looks like Might even find a decent amount of farm here. EG's not careful. This is 2 centaurs that are quite low. Looks like Fear wants to contest this. He's going to try to zone him out, and he's taking a lot of damage right now.
Oh, aggressive. Doesn't have his tranquil boots. That goes for the call. Block some of the damage. If PPD gets another poison touch off, he does, and that should be the kill. Buys the ring, and first blood goes the way of Fear.
Last of my kind.
Oh dear.
Just a little bit too greedy by aggressive. We talked about how
Oh, maybe
they were
mid.
going to contest
Going
that.
for the solo kill, and Sumail needed another bash, and with Zai's TP in, that'll help cover him. But aggressive play with 3 points in time lock.
Yeah. Oh. PPD going to try to contest to that top rune, but unfortunately maybe gets it. And that coveted bottom bounty rune is already going to be taken, as I think this might prompt Sumail to just continue to bottle Crow and sit back and farm with the acid spray for now.
So maybe continue to get harassed a bit here in this mid lane. Zai has 2 points in Soul Rip. This could catch the Void by surprise if he's not careful. Does look like they want to go aggressive. The TP coming in from Kunkka. Zai, he's the one who's going to become the new target here. Has that Soul Rip, going to use it defensively, gets torrented up in the air, and does not have a good escape as maybe gets the kill. Meanwhile, PPD just denying himself. I don't know if that was intentional. I believe he probably wanted to finish off that Hellbear.
He didn't lose gold. Oh, and at bottom,
There's
Universe gets a solo kill.
Let's give the return kill to Zhao Wei, but it's a TP from aggressive Zach, so rotation's somewhat forced out.
Aggressive is had to move around a lot this game. He's gone from top to bottom, or top to mid to bottom, made the full rotation over, and now he's going to try to grab some level in this.
Oh! Chronosphere from maybe he missed the chrono on Sumail. Instead, they're going to go for Zai with the arrow into Torrent. They'll get the kill. I believe they actually wanted Sumail there.
Oh, definitely. That was...
Slightly off.
Now it's a level 6 Alk. You're a lot more reluctant to gank him, and he's had a pretty decent time in the laning phase. 33 CS, highest net worth in the game. The Jug has been completely untouched as a result of this, as MMY is going to move himself over, and this top tower is going to go down really early.
Last in everything. Sumail, when you can farm behind the tier 1 tower, you know things are looking good. And he'll do just that. Push out the lane, then go for that 6-minute rune. And, you know, given how well EG's doing, it wouldn't surprise me to see a bounty rune there. Yep, there we go.
That's pretty nice. He's just going to conveniently find himself on. He almost already has that armlet completed. That is sick armlet timing.
Wait, swung himself top. He's just level 4. Haven't seen much of the off-lane Mirana in this kind of position. It's bottom lane. Oh, it's aggressive once more. Finding himself being dove, and once more getting taken out. His second death of the game. ZG. Again, it's fast-paced. They're finding openings. They see an opening, they take it, and then they followed up with tower pressure. Meanwhile, LGD are kind of on the back foot, always defensively farming, reacting to what EG are doing.
Yeah, I think that's the best term right now. They're just constantly playing reactive Dota. Like, they're realizing that Fear is getting absolute free farm at top, so then they halfway start to send Xiao up there, but then they realize their bottom area is being pressured as well. At best, they're going to grab PPD here, but even then, I think it's pretty okay because you've had to rotate 4 different heroes down here, including cores. These are all 3 of your cores in this bottom lane, and Fear is just kind of relaxing. All right. Sumail's got a completed armlet at 7 minutes, and he still has stacks to work with. Like, everything so far screams EG right now for me.
Oh, absolutely. This has not been an LGD team that's really showing up here on day 3 after a 0-4 day yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the same issues carrying over, and this is very worrying. Fear is on the move here, has Omni Slash. He snuck his way between these towers at night, so he's gone undetected, and he will find the Mirana. Problem is, the leap is there, and instead he's going to target MMY. Doesn't commit for the kill with Void showing up. He may get chronoed. Yep, that could be a 2-man chrono. Great Blade Fury means there's no arrow follow-up. It's going to be Zai instead that they go for, and we'll get Fear covering himself with the Blade Fury. But again, I mean, that kind of looks nice, like it's a 1-for-nothing. You use chrono, and it's still, again, the reactionary plays from LGD, who find themselves with 4 or 5 heroes in mid.
Yeah, this... At some point, you have to do something about this Alk as a mid.
Oh, nice
Fear.
pull into arrow. Fear.
Very well done by LGD, and now they're starting to pick up the pace.
Fear giving him perhaps a bit of a hand there also, walking into that call.
Yeah, that should not be able to happen, but very good by LGD. This is the kind of LGD that we said that we needed to see. They're playing aggressively all across the map now.
And
And
just walk into the enemy jungle, find the Alk, make sure they can... It wasn't even about harassing him, but just getting vision, seeing where he's at. And now also putting down a ward to be able to contest that jungle farm of his. Likely we see a smoke when they have like the next Chronosphere, even a Moonlight Shadow into the jungle. They want to get a kill on Sumail soon.
and it looks like EG are going to invade this bottom area as Universe.
You know, it's MMY. This guy,
Oh.
he's a veteran. He knows what's happening.
He knows what's up. I think LGD so far, though, credit to them. We did criticize the fact that it seemed like they were playing too passively or reactively, but this time around, they're trying to set up kills all around the map. I think the only downside here is that during all this time, you still have an Alchemist that's just plugging away with farm.
And I guess this is one of those games where you pick the AA as a counter, so you can at least look at this like we've got a counter pick. Even if the Alk is farming, we have a hero that can counter him, and there's the Ice Blast.
It's going to be brilliant.
Yep. That means no armlet toggling for you. Even if Alk is remaining that top net worth hero, you still always have that ability to kill him at this stage of the game until he starts really getting like 4 or 5 big items.
Yeah.
Often with just the armlet, he's somewhat unkillable because Chemical Rage plus armlet is a huge amount of HP and HP regen.
This is just all around really well done by LGD. We talked about how they had to play a lot more aggressively, and it seems like they're doing so. And in the last game, it felt like it just kind of feels like they've reversed positions. As Banana is going to get caught out solo by Fear, who pops the ultimate for it, but no rebuttal.
Moonlight Shadow was used as well by LGD, not in time, so maybe at mid lane with a Chronosphere ready to go. Ice Blast could come in. They do need at least a third hero to get this kill, and there's a lot of EG in the neighborhood. PPD not even leveling up Grave right now.
Yeah. There's no real reason to.
It doesn't help against the Ice Blast or the Axe, so
Yeah.
we've got 2 heroes, the 2 best Dazzle Grave counters in the game on the same team against you, so.
Might as well just that undervalued Poison Touch, man.
PPD went on a smoke ward. He smoked himself just to get this ward down. He gets spotted planting it and will give up a kill.
Here we go. As LGD, they're just finding kills, and they know that the ward is down, or they at least should. As the first Blink Dagger of the game is going to be purchased by Aggressive.
And they immediately make their next move. This is exactly what you're saying LGD need to do and been kind of praising them for, is just always looking to make moves, find kills. They get the PPD kill, and they're instantly making their next move. They are on the way to the Alk's jungle. Unfortunately, looks like they'll just be a little bit too late to find Sumail.
Yeah, maybe they can reroute, but it looks like they're
heading
pretty
to the
hard
high
committed to
ground,
this.
And they're showing 2 at mid. Like they're doing everything right with this smoke rotation. Show 2 heroes on the map.
Oh, they might even
Get
run
down
into
a deep
Fear here.
ward.
Middle tower is under attack.
Fear seems really reluctant to show up. They're going to go the long way here. As EG, I think they've kind of sensed that something is up.
And they see 2 heroes pushing and pressuring this mid lane. They've got to expect the other ones to be nearby now.
Yeah, especially if nobody's farming top. You see Aggressive just skip away in the mid lane.
He's been X'd up, the torrent to follow. The Tombstone was used on the high ground. Are they going to focus it down? But Universe pulls in maybe the Chrono here available. And they'll take out the Tomb as well as the Undying. T1 tower perhaps vulnerable here.
EG have to be careful. This is not a fight that they can take, especially without the Undying there, one of their primary team fight heroes.
Chronosphere means LGD have a good way to start the fight.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to have just about 13.5-minute radiance for this Alchemist, who had been slowed down by that death, but ultimately has just been plugging away with farm, doesn't seem to care too much. As LGD, they are the ones to strike first as they take this mid-tier 1 tower. Very well done by them so far, though, and I would really like to see them just continue to amp up the aggression. They still have that chrono available that they can fight under.
And the Alk Radiance is not going to allow them to fight, considering it's the AAs in the game. Often, like at this stage, if your Alk is this far ahead and there's team fights happening, you say, hey, Alk, come defend, put down your acid, run in there. But he's very vulnerable to this kind of LGD lineup.
Yeah, they did such a good job of allowing MMY to find levels on this game. They allowed him to get his quick level 6 by just abandoning whatever lane he was in, and that TP at bottom when he got out of there as EG were pushing in, very good by him. And LGD, like we talked about, we wanted to see them ramp up the aggression. They are going to get spotted mid, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, they had smoked up 2 heroes looking for the pickoffs. And again, it's a similar play where they're smoking just with 2 or 3 and leaving other heroes showing on the map, trying to catch EG by surprise. But EG has been kind of recognizing it time and time again what's going on. So they've kind of swapped roles here with EG playing the slower pace game. But that's what you'd expect out of an Alchemist draft. And in some ways, EG want to play that different style this game around.
Yeah, so still nothing purchased by Maybe, though. It's 2,500 gold. Is he's going to time walk again. Barely doesn't catch the edge of that.
Let me pick up that Blink Dagger.
I am waiting with bated breath.
Gonna get that prediction. They've got 2. Those would be number 3. You still got 11 minutes to go, so your prediction looking much better than mine.
Oh, as in mid, aggressive gets gone on.
Yeah, and he's going to get pulled back in with the Omni Slash. No protection for him. That Ghost Ship. Wishful thinking from Banana, but they will go on Fear, who's got neither Blade Fury nor Omni Slash. Chronosphere and an Ice Blast will secure that kill.
And Xiao8 wants more. He does have that arrow available. They're going to knock down this Tombstone quite quickly.
And if they can get a bash here or an arrow, Zai will get himself out. The Tranquil Windlace, giving him 415 movement speed.
I like how PPD walks up really fast, and he's just like, there is no reason to cast anything here.
Yeah.
He's like, I am just wasting my Shadow Wave.
Still lurk around this middle lane. There's some good vision for his team on the enemy hill. See Xiao8, who's getting a bit more farm priority now. 303 on his Mirana. As we see the Aghanim Scepter 3/4 complete.
Yeah, and it does look like Perseverance picked up first by Maybe. If he wants to battle, he could go for the Lincolns. If he wants to farm and transition and he feels like they don't have enough damage, could go for that classic Battle Fury.
If he's following in the footsteps of Wings, we've seen Shadow go for that Lincoln's Rush.
I think the first person I saw was it No Tail? I think it was No Tail.
Okay.
It was
during
Manila.
Did he go first item? I remember him prioritizing Lincolns a lot.
Yeah, he went like first item Lincolns, and it was pretty ownage.
Yeah. Every time I've seen it, it's like, yeah, it doesn't give you a huge boost to your damage or anything, or an initiation, but you just walk in that you're unkillable with it.
Yeah. You either have that really short Lincoln's cooldown, or you can just time walk away. You've always got one or the other to depend on. You have to overcommit to get a kill.
Radiant Scan sees them in the side here, and if LGD want to fight, they may look to do so, but 30 seconds is the wait for Chronosphere. Arrow from Xiao8 will fly over the tree line. Won't find anything initially.
Yeah, and they're going to get spotted as Xiao8 just happily willing to farm his...
Well, he farms his team. They smoke. They're looking for kills. Unfortunately, bottom lane not being pushed out, but maybe a bit of a tell. Can they find Zai? They see him now. Blink Call will catch him. Ice Blast immediately follows up, and Zai, there's no way out of this one. So they will get a kill. That's got to be the end of LGD's smokes. I feel like that was 3 in quick succession. They get a couple of kills here and there off of them. No major objectives, but all in all, they're setting a tempo that is much more suited for the current kind of meta, so to speak, and also just for versing an Alchemist.
Yeah. I am very pleased with the way that LGD is playing. I think we both agree on that. They're just making kills happen, and they're even forcing some stuff to happen. But one downside, if I'm ever going to be a killjoy for them, is that this Alk has doubled their nearest net worth. And more than that, they're just not claiming the objectives that they want to off of these kills.
At some point, if Alk gets far enough ahead and gets that man to Octarine, it doesn't matter if you've got an AA Ice Blast.
He's just going to be annoying to deal with.
And he doesn't have to rely on the Chemical Rage HP regen if he's got huge items.
Yeah. Although they are still utilizing all of their AI Ice Blast quite well right now, as Aggressive now picks up some amount of farm, and it does look like it's going to be the Lincoln's build for Maybe that we talked about. It's actually going to be really good against EG's lineup, just because they have a lot of single target. They only have one real way to lock him down, which is the Bat Ultimate.
He's completed it too, so... Well, he has it on the Courier, so he'll be flying out soon. LGD likely want to keep fighting. They've got wards in the enemy jungle, so they see the farming going on there. It's just a matter of getting there. And unfortunately for them...
they're going to get spotted out.
Right by a sentry, but... they immediately showed themselves. It looks like they realized that nothing was going to come from that Mirana ultimate.
That was the fastest I've ever seen a team go from, let's try to Mirana Invis, to this is not going to work.
Not wasting any time, and they get bottom just as Fear TP's out as well. EG are doing a great job of playing keep away. Just the 11 kills. I say just. LGD have been chewing through smokes, using Chrono whenever they can for kills, and I imagine LGD's mind, they would have liked to have found a few more kills with all their rotations.
Yeah, so far, not too much has happened as everybody just, on EG anyways, I think they've just decided we're going to turn this into a long, drawn-out farming game.
Alex hit some creeps, that's what's happened. He's having a happy time.
For 19 minutes, this is a fairly absurd amount of farm.
0, 1, and 0. That's the. I mean, you'd rather be 0, 0, 0 as an alchemist, but
I think you'd rather be like 20 and 0. Can't be greedy.
No, when I'm playing like anti-mage safe lane, being 0, 0, 0 is amazing. Like, that's,
feel it.
You know you're in the zone if you're not going. You're hitting all your item timings. You're split pushing lanes. Like
I think we have a different idea of being in the zone.
If I'm getting kills, that throws me off my anti-mage game. You know? Like, I'm like, well, what do I do? I have these kills. Like,
this is not meant to
doesn't feel right. You know, the rhythm of the game gets thrown out of whack.
It messes you up, man.
Yeah, you don't want to get kills on an anti-mage. Stay away from that stuff. It's bad for you kids.
I mean, Sumail is adhering to that principle as rigidly as possible.
He is very, very farmed.
Sumail's just kind of agreed to himself. He's like, I'm never going to fight. I'm going to be the most farmed person you've ever seen in 20 minutes. And he is not wrong.
How high is the 874 GPM? And that's before like the buildings start falling. Because often you'll see like the 1K plus GPMs. That's one of the compendium predictions. What's the highest GPM in a single game? It's like 800 to 900, 900 to 1,000. Like,
What'd you put?
I want to say I did 800 to 900. I mean, I put what I thought an Alk would get, which I think was 8 to 900.
Yeah.
And you can get higher if you have like the dream game, but
I mean, this is pretty close to that right now.
If EG start winning fights and pushing, this will be a 1K GPM game quite likely.
I mean, once he has Octarine, he's going to really start to ramp up. Find like 2 or 3 bounty runes in a row.
There's the third blink. It's Mirana. Did not cover my bases there.
Oof.
You know, I saw Zhao 8. I'm like, nah, Zhao 8, he's not going to farm on this Mirana.
That's going to be a Shao 8, like, axe or something.
Shadows take us.
Moonlight Shadow being used. They hover around this mid lane, but a Sentry Ward will scout them out. Banana. Spotted. Zhao 8 will throw the arrow as EG gather here at bottom lane. And that's where, like, looking at some of these, look at the kills. Like, LGD, yeah, you're up on these kills, but they're all kills on supports. As Zhao 8 blinks into a lasso. Oh boy, he did not last long. Void on the side.
Gonna find PPD though.
Coming in, yep, PPD. Don't know if that's too much to get excited about. I was about to say, all these kills that LG are getting are kind of very low value kills. 4 of them on PPD's Dazzle. 5 of them on Zai's Undying. That is 9 of their 12 kills on the supports. They're not killing the Alchemist. They're not killing the Juggernaut. At least not in some time.
Everybody from EG are just like, let's continue to farm. This game is going to be based. It's going to be based around this Alchemist. It's just going to be a normal Alchemist game who's almost level 16 at 22 minutes and maybe is just looking around for whatever he can. As he picks up a Shadow Blade, which is going to be a little bit of a counter as he can start moving around freely, and that might actually force EG to start clumping up.
He's caught Fear. Ice Blast is there to follow it up, maybe. Gets the bash at the right time, and Fear will take a fall.
He got bashed quite often there.
And the bashes in the Chrono don't do damage with the Blade Fear, I guess, so you're okay with that? But yeah, that was, I guess that's some RNG.
Very well done by Maybe. I mean, if this continues, then I mean, maybe we will see LGD do it.
Yeah, it's looking like they... it's weird to say it's looking like they can when there's an Alk this farmed, but this is the feel that DC Secret Game had where TZ was out at Star Ladder, and like DC, they're up like This game, they're behind on gold LGD. DC were actually up 10, 15k gold, except there was an Alchemist problem, and then the Alch just solo carried the game. It does feel like LGD have some ways of dealing with an Alch, though.
Yeah. I mean, they have the best ways to deal with an Alch. Yeah. They've got an AA and an Axe. I mean, at some point, though, like you said, this Alch, he's going to get pretty massive.
At some point, he has to come to the fight, though, because you want to use the fact that he's massive.
Yeah.
As EG. You can't just keep farming him and expect to win that way.
Oh, AA Ice Blast is down now. That is EG's. They are so happy about this.
Should be Roche, but LGD have other ideas in mind. Arrow will fly through, doesn't actually hit anyone. The pullback onto Banana means LGD have got to just give this one up, I want to say. Yeah, they're not coming in anymore. They've got to just forego contesting Roche.
And during this time, Sumail found a maneuver on the ground.
Maybe thought about going in. There's a Sentry Ward there. EG's Roche lineup is actually insane. With you can put the Healing Ward on the high ground, you can put the Tomb on the high ground. You've got Bat Rider around the pit. That is like the dream Roche lineup.
Well, they could get one more. They could get a Phoenix instead of a Dazzle.
True. I like it.
That would truly complete.
Oh. Aggressive. He's caught Sumail, and he does not have the Aegis. Can Axe get this kill? Does not look like it. That's only a regular Ice Blast. No Aghanim Scepter just yet for MMY. Let's maybe get scouted out. They've got the detection. He time walks out of the Omni Slash. Chronosphere available, but doesn't look like maybe thinks, okay, he does think he has the damage. Wants to go perhaps on Sumail, but he gets stunned up by the Alchemist. The arrow will catch Universe. He time walks forward, but possibly into his own death. He needs to be careful. Maybe. Very low. The Torrent and the boat will help cover his retreat as Sumail chases further. Maybe goes in, Viz. He will be walking into a sentry, needs to be careful. He turns and fights, maybe wants in. As Zhao 8 will throw Starstorm #1 and #2. The armlet toggles from Sumail will be needed. The Ice Blast is going to go flying on over, but he sidestepped.
Oh,
doesn't hit. That was the spell they needed to land to get that kill, and LGD have lost their Mirana now. They're still fighting strong. Aggressive on this Axe is just
Oh,
beasting.
he gets him!
Okay. Oh, he must have clipped him then.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
Didn't
And
hit
Fear is
the blast
definitely going
damage.
to die twice.
All right.
This Lincoln's build from Maybe makes him the most annoying person to kill. And EG, even though that Chrono didn't land and that AA Blast didn't do what you wanted it to.
Oh, it did. I didn't realize it actually clipped him. It didn't land.
The first AA Blast.
Oh, yeah. The one at Roche.
Yeah. The second one, it barely touched him. Like, Sumail got maybe the tail end of it, and I was watching his armlet just tick down, and I was like, he is so dead. It really looked like he was sidestepping. I'm like, all right, I'll leave him. He's going to live. Despite the fact that he's got double the GPM of any other hero, this Faceless Void he's honestly unkillable in this game.
He feels like he's as farmed as the Alchemist.
Yeah.
And MMY, by the way, he got that kill on Alch suddenly, and got the kill on the kill on Undying. Has an Ags.
Okay, MMY, you beast.
He was like 1,500 gold before that fight, and now he's got the full Ags.
Yeah, how much did he get off of killing Sumail? 776. Just got
That's
a
the
casual
thing.
1K.
It doesn't feel like LGD. It felt like LGD had been the ones ahead for a while, but on gold they were actually behind. So they get a lot of money from these kills. This is one of those games where like the quote unquote comeback mechanics of Dota really work in your favor as LGD. If you're getting comeback gold when you're not really playing from behind, you got to feel pretty good.
LGD, they're pushing pace. This is what we wanted to see out of them post game 1, where we just said they're playing too slow. This time around, it feels like they're ramping up the pace and not even respecting this Alchemist. They're going to find him again.
The Ice Blast is there to follow it up. The gem on the Bat Rider just did not detect them coming to the jungle. The Alch goes down.
Not your target.
That's Universe caught in the Chronosphere. He's got a gem. You can't afford to lose him. The TP on the zombie gets cancelled. Cheeky little play coming out from the Alch, but it gets dealt with. I don't know if LGD realized there was a gem there. Otherwise, they may have gone for the Bat Rider. Instead, it's going to be Banana getting chased down by Fear. Blade Fury does just enough damage. MMY trying to get the cold feet, but Fear will escape this one. Aggressive, can't blink. Not with the Manta Illusions on him. Good news for EG is they do hold onto their gem.
Yeah, they did have to commit the buyback though.
Oof.
And now, I mean, Sumail just pops so fast from LGD's lineup right now, and very well done by LGD. All they really lose there is Banana, who kind of pretty casual about it. It doesn't seem like he cares very much, and Fear isn't really scaling as hard as you'd like him to in terms of net worth. Aggressive is now surpass him is LGD making another aggressive move up. And they might even just run into Universe here.
You know EG have sentries, though. Don't worry.
They come slotted at all times, man.
We'll lose some of those sentries around the Roche pit.
There's one thing EG loves.
Well, they've got a gem at this point, so actually PPD not buying as many sentries because of that. But detection aplenty.
Yeah, Sumail just continues to farm. He does almost have that Shiva's guard completed, but man, this does not look good so far.
That doesn't really change if he gets caught in a chrono. Unlikely to save him, I feel.
They can pretty much all in on him, I feel.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. The Jug does not deal the damage that you want, and more importantly, the Jug can't fight against this this Void. The Void just out mobilizes him, and there's no lockdown that the Jug has right now. It's not like Fear has the necessary farm to take him down. Maybe if he had like 2 additional items on top of an Abyssal Blade.
EG grouped up now at top, and Fear Jug, as you kind of talked about, yet to see what he can do as far as getting involved. And it's LGD posturing as if they want to go make their next move. Maybe he's approaching his next item pickup with the Yasha. See, likely Manta style coming out very shortly. And everyone, that's the thing, LGD have all 3 of their cores looking like they're going to scale on to the late game. A support AA who's got Ags and level 14 in a second, so everyone on their side, even the supports, are in a fantastic position. You look at I really worry for EG because of how little their supports can do.
Yeah.
Dazzle is not, can't do his job against AA and Axe. Undying is meant to be kind of an early game specialist. These supports will not scale.
This Outcast almost isn't as much net worth as the next 2 heroes on LGD combined, but it doesn't matter because LGD are fighting the fights. They're finding every single hero on EG at some point in the game. Chrono is so godly against EG's lineup.
Auk has more net worth than his 4 teammates combined.
Ooh.
Think about that one. Or roughly the same.
Roughly the same.
Yeah. That is... That's like in some ways concern. It's okay when you can redistribute it when you start buying Aghanim Scepters, but that really speaks to how hard it is for EG to fight into LGD right now. Because LGD, it's that kind of nice even spread across your 3 cores, and having one of your supports as rich as the Bat. Like AA is on par with Sumail's Bat Rider.
Yeah. I feel like if everybody on
Universe,
LGD just grabbed Lincoln Spheres, they're pretty much unkillable.
Seems to be the plan for Zhao 8 as he gets a ulti orb. Are there any moves EG can make? Or are they just got to sit back, play for the long game, start thinking about buying Ag Scepters?
I mean, they can still find pickoffs. They can grab some Ags. It'd be good on Zai, and it'd be quite good on the Jug. It's been so long since I've seen a Jug Ags, just because it's pretty underwhelming.
Buying it for yourself as a carry, it's like...
Yeah, Scepter Slashes, though, go from 9 to 12, which is not that much as Sumail gets found out once again. Ice Blast coming in.
Got it. The Blink Axe will ensure it.
Absolutely.
Maybe he's just scouting around, and then as soon as he finds he chronos and LGD, that was Zhao 8 blinking and leaping towards the area.
Dude, that Shadow Blade, I was so convinced once maybe got out, I was like, this is going to be the item. Because it just forces EG in an awkward position. Because EG don't really want a team fight because LGD would probably win those. And on top of that, they can't just have the Bat falling around the Alchemist. Whenever that happens, he just falls further and further behind in net worth.
PPD at bottom trying to force people back, but...
Yeah. You're like, alright, it's just a Dazzle.
Yeah. I mean, you'll take a bit of damage on this tier 3 tower, but bigger objectives to be taken as LGD, for now, ignore the PPD Dazzle. I say that this creep wave will get blown up by a Shadow Wave, so this tier 3 will actually likely go down.
Oh, Fear's making his way down too. This is smart.
Yeah.
They realize we can't take them in a head-on fight, especially without the Alk available. Yeah. Best thing to do right now is just a split push.
The glyph is there, so at some point LGD are going to kind of second-guess themselves. They're going to trade racks if they keep pushing. LGD, where are you? Mirana's back. This is a range racks, and Fear could Blade Fury attack it. Yep, he'll do so. Won't actually finish it off as he TPs out instead. Takes the safe approach.
Yeah.
And PPD, he expected to kind of die, I imagine, as he was split pushing this bottom lane, so he's not really too concerned. It's actually back on the dire side. We'll leave PPD for dead. They've initiated and they've caught one. Looking for Zai. Here's LGD. There's the Omnislash aggressive. Doesn't have mana for the Berserker's Call. Fear, he's gone in. He's got the Blade Fury now as well if he needs it, but he'll just right-click down the axe.
Yeah, Sumail going to be the beneficiary of that kill as EG, they continue to try to chase. They want something if they can grab it, and
Chronosphere, Ice Blast, it's coming in. The arrow will catch Sumail as well, and I don't believe Sumail can find his way out of this one. No buyback as well. They can get Fear. This could be big for LGD. They may be able to force that high ground. This time they don't have to worry about the bottom lane. Zai, you're not TPing. Oh, you are TPing out. He guessed wrong on the torrent. I thought he had vision, but no, he was hiding in the trees.
If Banana could have just walked in there instead of going for the torrent toss, they probably would have picked up that kill, but LGD, they are going to be incredibly satisfied with the double pick-off on the cores, as that might just force them to have to buy back.
Not the fastest pushing lineup. They're actually going to see the bat blink in, but he gets immediately caught by the time dilation. Mule Scepter will help Universe out for a little bit, but it's still not going to be enough to save his life. Now he's dead for 48 seconds. Dazzle, it's a 1-by-1 domino feed. Maybe says, I'll come take out this Tombstone if I have to. And there's the Alchemist buyback. He just had it back up and decides it needs to come out to protect these racks.
Yeah, and even still, LGD, 27 kills now. They're ramping up the pace right now. Much bigger fan of this style of play, rather than the sit back and allow somebody to farm. It feels like both teams just kind of flip their play styles, as it's now LGD getting aggressive all around the map. So BKB picked up by this axe. Fresh 10-second one to go along with it. Ancient Apparition has wards for days. And that third point of his ultimate does kind of help.
Oh yeah. The Shatter health threshold for very high HP heroes, the damage per second, I mean, everything about it, it gets better.
Yeah.
The duration,
damage.
I guess, is the same with because of the Scepter,
Yeah.
but
450 and 12 and 32 damage per second. 32 damage per second for 17 seconds on top of the initial burst is insanely high.
See what EG's next move might be, but right now they are struggling. Alka's starting to work on his Aghanim Scepters. He doesn't have buyback, so he's just going to stop buying all the pieces as soon as he can.
All right, who's the first one go to? Who would make the biggest difference? I would say maybe even the Undying.
Undying is just so... Undying's at that state where you're so poor that I feel like you just die instantly, even with like the Ags.
Yeah, but you take away an Ogre Club worth of strength every single time.
Yeah, I'm not... I think it's good, just unreliable, whereas like Jug doing damage is reliable.
I think Decay is reliable. You get an Aether Lens on that, throw that sucker on.
It's Jug is reliable also just because the hero wants stats, wants to be tankier. But I'm not sold either way. I don't feel like there's no obvious choice in my mind.
EG are smoked up though. They want to make a move, and Zai is just gonna run into people.
He pops the Tombstone just in the open here as Universe gets the grab on. Maybe they broke the Lincolns for this, but I don't think they've got the damage. The Chrono comes out. Fear's being caught. Universe as well, locked in place by the Cold Feet. And Zhao Wei will leap forward. Gun for Fear, and we'll get him.
Run, PPD!
This is your life now, Peter. Get the hell out of there.
He does not have a TP. And LGD are... They're just mean. They're gonna chase this guy down.
Mean. LGD is probably flashbacks to last game where like they're having no mercy today. Not in game 2, and for LGD a win here, it keeps their final day hopes alive. They need a 2-0 probably in their last series against Wings. They also need to complete the job here in game number 2, but right now it's looking incredibly good.
Yeah, this Alk is the only one alive right now for them. As buyback is available for this Juggernaut, but without the rest of his team there, I'd imagine that he's a little bit more reluctant to go for it. As LGD, they're going to start flooding into the base. EG in a position where not really sure what the best choice here is. Sumail looks like he wants to go for the split push.
Xiaowe's already TPing back home, leaving his team to finish off the melee racks, and there we go. There's the Sumail TP back. Oh, good reaction. As soon as his Lincolns gets broken, the Universe was on top, but...
There's no more gem now for EG as well. They rely on that pretty heavily. I mean, maybe his build just makes him so hard to kill. They committed everything to kill him in that fight.
Yep.
They used the Force Staff on the bat. They lassoed him. They all beat on him at once. And he just kind of shrugged it all off.
Didn't even get down to half HP, it looked like. LGD to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They keep that bottom lane pushed out. They take their first racks of the game, a melee one in the mid lane. Looks like they're going to make their next move now. They transition into a smoke. Roche is up if they can find a fight, but I think more likely they just want to team fight and then try and end the game. They do not need to play around having an Aegis.
Yeah, and without any detection here.
Oh, maybe he's a bit trapped here. We got a great Chronosphere on 2. It is, it's a support and fear. They'll take that.
They will take that every day of the week, as now they are so close to the base. Man, if maybe he had a Blink Dagger here, he wouldn't have been stuck in the trees. That was such a good Chrono opportunity, though. Even with him being in the trees, he couldn't pass that one.
No. I think the Shadow Blade has given him a lot that a Blink wouldn't, just as far as roaming around like the enemy jungle while invis.
Oh, for sure.
It means you can initiate and have some protection against the Bat Rider too, because you roam around and you're not going to run into a lasso.
Yeah. LGD all going to get weaved up, but I don't think they care at all.
Doesn't seem that way. Alka's coming in from the side, throws the acid and stun. It gets Manta dodged.
Doesn't even bother popping the Lincolns. What a boss.
The Universe will scurry himself back. MKB for Zhao Wei. He's actually transitioning into some physical damage. Don't see this all too often on Mirana, but I mean, it doesn't really matter what item he gets. Let's be real. Well, that's the E-Blade, the Manta, the BKB we sometimes see. It's all frills right now for LGD, who have 4 racks advance, or 3 racks advance. They didn't get the range in mid. So who got the Aghanim Scepter? Alright, Fear with the Ag's Omni Slash. Bit of extra stats, a bit of extra slashes. Here comes LGD, trying to contest the Roshan. Aggressive will be the target. As a BKB, won't get a chance to use it as he gets taken out at the start of the fight. The Ghost Ship will catch PPD, does not kill him though. Chrono on 2, Ice Blast immediately follows it up. Zai and Fear get caught in that one. Good news for Sumail is he didn't get caught, but problem is he now doesn't have 2 of his buddies. He's been X'd up, he'll be pulled back in just a second. The buyback from Jug will come into play as Sumail will see this grave wearing off.
Maybe he's dropping quite low though.
Sumail's opting to run, should just turn and fight, but decides that perhaps too late. Sumail may be regretting not fighting earlier.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Universe being chased down right now by Aggressive, who still pissed about what happened in the last game. He is not giving this up.
Yeah, he remembers getting solo kill.
And LGD doesn't even look like they want to finish off this Roche.
Aggressive at the same time may have gotten too overzealous.
Yeah, Fear though. In an awkward position right now.
Nice little healing ward in the trees, but looks like Fear may be brought down here. Has some backup coming into play. The Ghost Ship will help block some of the damage output as...
That was his buyback.
Yeah. 80 seconds, and Peter's going to call it. He realizes we're down 4 racks. The Alk isn't working. Let's tap out.
Yeah. And everyone from... Ooh.